Are you ready to witness how power and tradition dance in the heart of London? The Royal Albert Hall becomes a stage for the ancient art of sumo. This will be the first time in 34 years that an official tournament of this magnitude is held outside Japan. Last time? 1991. Champion? Hokutomi Nobuyoshi. Who will emerge victorious this time? On the SumoSpirit channel, we bring you what happened in this tournament. Let's begin! Day 1 started with Hakuoho versus Hoshoryu. The air was tense. Hoshoryu stood face to face with the rising young force, Hakuoho, a 22-year-old from the rural southwest of Japan. Two countries, two styles, perfectly matched. But power met precision. The Mongolian Yokozuna locked in a decisive grip on the belt, and, with a flawless uwatenage, hurled his opponent from the ring. One move, one statement of dominance. The day continued with Onosato versus Ura. This was the clash of the night. Ura staggered under the weight of his larger rival's blows, yet answered with a furious comeback, nearly forcing the Yokozuna over the edge. The crowd gasped. Was there an upset in sight? But at the very brink of defeat, Onosato unleashed a devastating uwatenage that sealed his victory in spectacular fashion. Both Yokozuna emerged from day 1, battered, tested, but unbroken. Ozeki Kotozakura? He didn't come to London due to knee injury. Sekiwaka Wakatakakage, this time against Tamawashi. The experienced wrestler opened with a ruthless assault to Wakatakakage's neck, pure intensity from the start. Head clash. The sound of impact echoed through the arena. The momentum shifted, the crowd held its breath. Then, with sharp precision and brute control, Tamawashi countered with a masterful oshidashi, driving his rival cleanly out of the dohyo. A bout that burned fast, fierce, and unforgettable. On day 2, we see the other Sekiwake, Kirishima, who had to battle against the Yokozuna Hoshoryu. The showdown between these two seasoned warriors did not disappoint. They locked into a gripping contest of holds, technique versus instinct, patience against precision. Every movement was calculated, every breath a test of endurance. Then, in a flash of mastery, Hoshoryu slipped behind Kirishima, seized control, and finished the bout with a flawless okuridashi. One opening, one move, one victory claimed. Let's continue with the Ohos. Oho versus Hakuoho, a word game. After an explosive initial clash that demanded a judge's deliberation, the wrestlers stepped back into the ring for a rematch charged with tension. The second impact shook the air, raw force against raw will. Oho gained control beneath the arms, but Hakuoho turned the tide, lowering his stance, driving his rival toward the edge. Then came the decisive moment. A fierce pull on the belt, a perfect shitatenage, and Oho was down. The battle ended. Technique triumphed. Day 3 started with a stellar bout. Onosato versus Wakamoto Haru. Onosato arrived without loss. On day 2, he beat Gonoyama. Another gripping clash at the Mawashi, a battle of strength, balance, and timing. Onosato took the upper hand early, his control steady, his technique relentless. The rhythm shifted, the momentum built, and with commanding precision, he executed a clean uwatenage to bring Wakamoto Haru down. Dominance declared. The ring belonged to him. What happened to Hoshoryu? This day, against the always difficult Kinbozan, it began with a thunderous collision. In an instant, Hoshoryu slipped beneath his opponent's guard, securing a solid grip under Kinbozan's Mawashi. The struggle was fierce, raw strength meeting perfect balance. Then came the adjustment. Hoshoryu switched to an inner hold, lifted his rival with sheer power, and slammed him down in a spectacular Tsuryo Toshi. This is a Kimarite, in which the attacker grips his opponent's Mawashi, lifts him, and swings him sideways and down. Precision, force, and pure control in motion. Now we have to continue with Takayasu versus Mitakeyumi, both arriving 2-0. The battle between two titans erupted in a storm of Tsupari open-hand strikes echoing across the arena. Mitakeyumi fought to withstand the onslaught, refusing to yield. But Takayasu's rhythm was unstoppable, his power unshaken. With a final surge, he drove his rival out of the dohyo, using a decisive tsukidashi, remaining undefeated. The clash ended, the roar continued. Takayasu was still unbeaten. Let's see Takayasu again, on this occasion against the Mongolian Yokozuna Hoshoryu, an electric battle from the start. Takayasu launched the first strike, setting the rhythm of war. Hoshoryu pressed forward, unyielding, eyes locked on the path ahead. For a moment, Takayasu nearly forced him out, almost, but the Mongolian's composure never broke. With total control and measured strength, Hoshoryu turned the tide and calmly sealed victory with a flawless Yorikiri. Precision over power? Wait, what happened to the Ukrainian beast Ionishiki? He won the first 3 days, but he had to clash against the Yokozuna Onosato. 2 wrestlers 3-0. The bout began with tension thick in the air. Ionishiki locked onto Onosato's arm, looking for an opening, but Onosato's grip on the mawashi was unshakable, unyielding. Ionishiki tried everything to break his defense, but nothing worked. Every move met resistance, every push met strength. Finally, Onosato powered forward, driving him out with a commanding Yorikiri, keeping his perfect record intact, dominance written in motion. A fighter to consider on this day is Tobizaru, who came in 3-0 and had to face Sekiwake Kirishima. Tobizaru came out sharp, seizing his opponent's arm before diving for the back of Kirishima's mawashi. The maneuver was fast, fluid, and decisive. With a swift transition, he executed a Shita Tenage that sent Kirishima crashing to the ground. Another victory. 4 in a row. Agility conquered strength. An artful strike disguised as chaos. Can the Japanese conquer England? And Day 4 has an acrobats battle. Ura versus Midorifuji. A duel between 2 acrobats, 2 artists of balance and flair. Ura took a step back from the starting line, giving Midorifuji the early edge. The smaller man pressed forward. Ura teetered on the brink of the ring. A slap came fast, but in a breathtaking reversal, the man in pink lifted Midorifuji as if he weighed nothing, hoisting him into the air and tossing him out with a stunning suridashi. The crowd erupted. Pure strength. Pure spectacle. The day finally arrived. Yokozuna clash. But before that, we have to see the Sekiwake battle. Kirishima versus Wakatakakage. At the Tachi-ai, both men locked in tight. Kirishima gripped the back of Wakatakakage's mawashi, and Wakatakakage returned the hold in kind. The balance teetered on the edge. Kirishima braced himself at the boundary, waiting. Wakatakakage tried to lift, his strength fading with each attempt. Then came the counter. Kirishima surged forward and drove him out with a clean Yorikiri. Another amazing bout, Takayasu versus Tobizaru. Takayasu one loss against Hoshoryu, and Tobizaru no loss. The underdog's final stand. Tobizaru fought bravely, refusing to yield. He tried a desperate leg sweep but missed. Takayasu slipped aside, nearly unbalancing his rival, but Tobizaru somehow stayed upright. The struggle tightened. Step by step, Takayasu pushed through, pressing on the shoulder until a decisive okuridashi sent Tobizaru out of the dohyo. A valiant run ended in honor. Both arrived 3-1. Ionishiki seized Ura's arm and twisted sharply, forcing the acrobat into a dangerous position. Ura had to yield, saving his limb but falling to the ground in a perfectly executed kaina haineri. This kimarite consists of grabbing the opponent's upper arm with one arm, placing the palm of the other arm underneath and pressing, making him spin. The technique was sharp, clean, and ruthless. Ionishiki claimed victory. One twist was all it took. Another wrestler we have to consider is the other Ukrainian Shishi. He arrived 3-1 and he had to battle against Shonanumi. The impact echoed through the hall. Shishi caught Shonanumi by the mawashi, but his rival countered and drove him to the edge. A heartbeat of danger, then reversal. Shishi found his grip, lifted Shonanumi clean off the ground, and launched him out of the ring with a thunderous tsuridashi. Power met poise, and power won. You have reached the Yokozuna bout. Congratulations! Onosato versus Hoshoryu, both 4-0. The only ones with this record. 2 undefeated warriors stepped into the ring. Only one would leave as champion. And then, it was over in a flash. Hoshoryu dominated from the very first move. The Mongolian slipped beneath Onosato's mawashi, shifted behind him with lightning speed, and forced him out from the rear with a masterful okuridashi. Precision, timing, perfection. Hoshoryu champion. He was able to avenge his near championship at the last Akiba show, which this time went to the Japanese. The prize for him? A giant soy sauce bottle. What else did he win? An equally large Hello Kitty teddy bear to commemorate her victory. For what soy sauce? One of the sumo wrestlers' signature meals is the hearty stew called chanko nabe, which helps them build and maintain the large, strong physique required for their sport. In the broth of chanko nabe, soy sauce is often used to add flavor and the rich umami taste that makes the meal more satisfying. So, soy sauce in the life of a sumo wrestler isn't about ritual or ceremony, it's culinary. It helps turn a simple high-calorie meal into something flavorful, encouraging greater consumption and thus supporting energy intake and recovery. These wrestlers eat a lot. London fulfilled extraordinary demands during the wrestlers' stay, ordering over 680 kilograms of rice, 1,000 packets of instant miso soup, 750 packets of noodles, 1,050 rice balls, and 400 bottles of soy sauce. And so, the last echoes of the ceremonial drums faded in the Royal Albert Hall. The London Sumo Tournament 2025 closed with the elegance of an ancient tradition and the energy of a modern spectacle. Amid British applause and Japanese reverence, the dohyo fell silent, awaiting new clashes that will make history in sumo. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, leave a comment, and subscribe to the SumoSpirit channel for more content. See you in the next video. Thanks for watching.